This is the Science Museum in London. It's a major tourist attraction with more than 10,000 exhibits on 7 floors.
They show the many developments in science and technology that have played a part in shaping the modern world.
In many ways, the museum is a hall of fame for inventors who have pioneered new forms of travel, work, communication, medicine, entertainment, new ways of living.
Here is English engineer George Stephenson's rocket, the railway engine he built in 1829 to pull passenger carriages between Liverpool and Manchester.
Here is American inventor Thomas Edison's electric light bulb, made in 1880.
Here is the microscope used by the famous French scientist Louis Pasteur in the 1860s.
Here is Swedish inventor Lars Ericsson's table telephone, made in 1890.
Here is the story of flight, from the earliest days to space exploration.
Here are vacuum cleaners and washing machines, radios and televisions, even one of the first flush lavatories.
What is not here, though, is any record of all those who tried and failed.
All those, for example, who also dreamt of flying, but couldn't get off the ground.
They were failures, but in many ways they were glorious failures. People who thought they could make a difference, make the big breakthrough, achieve fame and fortune.
And it may well be that they inspired some of the people who did become famous, whose inventions are displayed here. For example, did the inventor of the modern dishwasher know about the pioneering work of Edwin Solomon?
An English science teacher, he brought his washing up machine to the world's attention in 1950, but because it was probably no better and no quicker than washing up by hand, the world was not impressed.
Another glorious failure was the Dynasphere. When it rolled into view in 1932, its inventor claimed that it would revolutionize modern transport. But it wasn't enough of a revolution to find a place in the Science Museum.
The Dynasphere was a huge success, though, compared with Mr. Frodsham's water walking boots. Launched in 1930, they carried him to nowhere anyone else wanted to go, and very soon they sank out of sight.
On water, on land, in the air, there have been numerous inventions connected with travel, from jet aircraft to motorized roller skates.
But in every field of activity, there's always someone with a new idea. Like the man in Paris in 1931 who wanted music wherever he went and built a radio into his hat.
Though no one thought much of his invention at the time, the thinking behind that glorious failure resulted in glorious success almost 60 years later when the personal stereo arrived.
The thinking of Harry Billinus was right too. If he could cure baldness, he would make a lot of money. Needless to say, his unusual treatment proved disappointing for all concerned, and instead of a lot of money, the only result was a lot of sore heads.
The tradition of glorious failure goes on. Right now, there are millions of people who are working on inventions that could change their lives, and possibly change the world.
Only a very few of them will end up here. Ideas which bring about change are rare, and even if the science is right, the world has to want them.
35 years ago, there were those who thought that by the year 2000, we'd all have robots in our homes, that we'd get up in the morning and have our breakfast prepared by a machine.
Well, I'm still buttering my toast. For some reason, failure seems more fun than success. In addition to the Science Museum, perhaps there should be a museum devoted to all those inventions which never got there. Good idea?
Great idea. Trouble is, there just wouldn't be anywhere big enough.